Amir Locke, who was murdered, in my opinion, by the police. No knock warrant, police come in, you know what happened. Well, there's a protest, rightfully so. At the protest, another individual who's racist decides to shoot at peaceful protesters. That person has now been charged with murder. Let me remind you of what caused the protest.
Police search for it! Police search for it! Police search for it! Hands! Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
Mr. Amir Locke was not the target of the warrant. He was not a person of interest. He was sleeping on the couch of his friend's apartment. He had nothing to do with anything. The police also violated their own policy by entering too early. And according to Minneapolis, there was supposed to be a moratorium on no-knock warrants, which was a damn lie from the mayor and the rest of council. So people are rightfully protesting. Makes sense? You protest injustice. That's what happens. Put up a picture of the killer. Benjamin Smith, 43 years of age, was charged with second-degree murder, 4 counts of attempted murder, and multiple counts of assault. Why? The statement said Smith allegedly confronted a group of people engaged in a demonstration protesting the death of Amir Locke, a black Minneapolis man who was fatally shot by officers carrying out a no-knock warrant last month. All right. On the Portland shooting incident, citing the video evidence, the prosecutor's office said Smith allegedly told protesters who had gathered at a park northeast of downtown Portland on Saturday to leave the area, okay? Several participants asked Smith to leave them alone, the statement says. Moments later, Smith drew a firearm and fired at the crowd, striking 5 people. The shooting ended with after someone returned fire, hitting Smith in the hip. The statement says Smith remained hospitalized in critical condition. Here's a picture of the person that Smith is accused of murdering. She lost her life. Her name was June Knightley, 60 years of age. Let me give you some background to this very decent soul who was killed because someone was full of racism and hate. According to Oregon Live, Knightley was described by friends as a fixture of Portland's protest community. The outlet reported that Ms. Knightley, who was from Northeast Portland, was part of a group of women who were volunteering as part of a motorcade group working on traffic and logistics ahead of the protest, trying to make sure everybody's safe. Kathleen Sadat described Knightley to Oregon Live, saying she was warm, giving, and kind. She was a person who spent time trying to think of things she could do to make the world a better place and to make herself better in the world. A roommate of Smith, okay, Christine Christensen, told Oregon Public Broadcasting that Smith's political views had become increasingly hostile in recent years. I'm sure that coincides with Donald Trump. He talked about wanting to go shoot commies and Antifa. She recalled him saying, according to the network, he was angry at the mask mandates and the liberals. Now, where do you think he got that from? Okay, now he's responsible for his murder and his attempted murders. Yes, 100% responsible. But there is a cause and effect relationship. It's called radicalization. Radicalization. Donald Trump radicalized citizens. He's the chief terrorist. The rhetoric from Fox News radicalizes the ideology of individuals. Now they are still 100% responsible for the actions they commit. But you cannot have this conversation without connecting it to the reality of those who continue to spew the untrue rhetoric against those who are politically different, who are different by race, by ideology, saying that they are in fact threats to America, that they should die. You have politicians who have insinuated this. You have Christian evangelical preachers saying this directly, that those who are left-leaning or liberals or progressives should die. And look at what's happening. Based on his social media post, there's one that said, and I quote, "Journalists have corroborated identity of suspected Portland mass shooter, a man with a history of advocating for the murder of left-wing protesters. All right, follower of and fan of the Proud Boys, Kyle Rittenhouse, etc. Was denounced in furious subculture for violent far-right views." There's a reason why all of these people are connected. You cannot lose the reality of that. There's a reason why white supremacists, people that want to kill Americans, and people that are killing Americans for a difference of opinion are all connected. All right, Ben, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. And because so the person who did this, he has like the sole material responsibility, right? Obviously he's the person that did it, but there's a moral responsibility. There's a moral responsibility that the right-wing media has in situations like this, because as somebody that lives in Minneapolis, I mean, especially since this was a response to what happened to Amir Locke, it is absolutely infuriating when the people that I see on the ground, the people that I know on the ground who are just marching the streets trying to demand that police officers stop killing people, right? They're kind, loving people. They're so supportive, right? A lot of these people are the same people that are out trying to get help, get food and shelter to homeless folks in town. These are the same people doing so much good work. And the right-wing media is busy trying to paint these people as terrorists just for walking the streets and demanding change. They're trying to paint them as these violent, whatever. And in doing that, in stoking up this fear and this hatred, it leads to things like this. And I know that they like to pretend that they're just doing the news. I know that they like to pretend that they're just like these entertainers that are, whatever. But they have a real material impact on the world. And I don't know, maybe they do realize it. Maybe they just don't care, but there's a moral responsibility here. And these right-wing hosts that go out of their way to paint, innocent people who are just trying to ask for basic decency and just change in the police departments around the country, to paint them as being violent or evil or whatever it's just shameless in my opinion.
Yeah, and Ben, they don't give a damn. They don't give a damn about actual people.